Table, her hands moving quickly, though her heart was filled with a quiet uncertainty. Nearing 60, she never imagined she would one day be living in another man's home, not after losing her husband so long away early, and his son lived far away, only visiting occasionally. He had gotten used to the quiet, the solitary meals, the sound of wind rustling through the trees. That is, and began to stay longer. She tended to his garden, helped tidy the kitchen, and shared stories of her past. And just like that, her presence brought warmth back into his planting flowers by the porch, reorganizing the kitchen, and adding her gentle touch to every corner. Mr. Dung, in turn, found himself eating better, sleeping more soundly, smiling more. They began talking, just quietly, for a simple ceremony, enough to mark their union, to let family and friends know that they found peace in each other. But even in their happiness, there was hesitation. Mrs. Lloyd wondered how her son Jack would feel, though he was grown. Mr. Dung, too, felt uneasy. Though calm by nature, he grew nervous when Mrs. Lloyd suggested inviting Jack and Tu Tien over for tea and a small conversation. Young people was tidy and welcoming. Tu Tien chatted warmly with Mrs. Lloyd, while Jack politely observed, his expression guarded. When they all sat down around the tea table, Mrs. Lloyd gently placed her hand on Mr. Dung's and spoke. "Son, I want to tell you, Mr. Dung and I are thinking about getting married. It's just an idea for now, nothing to... A widow who lived for her child. The thought of her marrying someone else felt foreign, like it didn't belong in the life he knew. But then he noticed how her frail hands rested gently over Mr. Dung's. He saw how age had softened her features, how much more serene she seemed now. This wasn't about replacing anyone. It was about finding her. Her eyes were moist with emotion, and something inside him shifted. He reached out and held her hand. I was surprised at first. But if this feels right to you, if you're truly happy, then I support you, Mom. I just want you to be healthy, peaceful, and never feel lonely again." Tears welled up in Mrs. Lloyd's eyes. Mr. Dung, too, looked moved and often stopped by, bringing fruits, home-cooked meals, and laughter. Tu Tien helped Mrs. Lloyd choose new curtains and fold clean tablecloths, while Jack helped Mr. Dung fix the old wooden gate. Slowly but surely, the idea of his mother remarrying didn't seem so strange, and made space in the kitchen for both their favorite condiments. There was no need for a big wedding, no fancy banquet. Just a heartfelt gathering, a few blessings from loved ones, and a silent vow to walk the rest of life's road together. Some might say, at this age, why bother getting married? But to Mrs. Lloyd and Mr. Dung, it wasn't about On a gentle autumn morning, sunlight filtered through the erica trees, casting a warm glow on the front porch of Mr. Dung's modest house. Inside, Mrs. Lloyd, Jack's mother, was peeling fruit at the dining room long ago, but Mr. Dung, a man she had only recently met, had stirred something unexpectedly tender in her heart. Mr. Dung had been living alone in this small house for over 10 years. His wife passed till the day he met Mrs. Lloyd at a community gathering for seniors. They had talked as if they'd known each other for years. Since then, he'd often invited her over for tea, for meals, and slowly she began home. Their days together weren't what the young might call dating or cohabiting. It was simply the honest companionship of two people in the later chapters of life. Mrs. Lloyd brought life back into the home, in passing, about something neither had dared to hope for. What if we got married? There were no rings, no announcements, not even a formal plan. Just a shared thought, an unspoken wish, successful, and in a loving relationship with the kind and gentle Tu Tien. She couldn't help but worry. Will he think I'm selfish? She asked herself one night while listening to the breeze through the window. Will he think I've changed too much at this age? Think differently. What if he doesn't approve? What if this makes things harder for her? He pondered silently. But then he told himself, we've done nothing wrong. We just want companionship. That afternoon, Jack and Tu Tien arrived, having accepted the invitation with curiosity. Mr. Dung's home, though simple-sided, but I wanted you to hear it from me first. The room fell silent for a moment. Jack looked at his mother, then at Mr. Dung. A strange feeling filled his chest. For so long, his mother had been the symbol of quiet strength, living for herself. Tu Tien spoke first, her voice gentle and full of care. If being with Mr. Dung brings you peace and happiness, then that's all that matters. We're not here to stand in the way of your joy, Mom. Jack looked at her, then back at his mother. Thank you, he said softly. We're not rushing into anything. We just believe that life is better with someone by your side. The older we get, the more we treasure companionship and fear solitude. From that day forward, the atmosphere at Mr. Dung's house became even warmer. Jack and Tu Tien range anymore. It began to feel right. Though no date had been set, Mrs. Lloyd and Mr. Dung began quietly preparing. They talked about rearranging the bedroom, invited a few close friends for tea. Ceremony. It was about commitment, a promise to be there for one another, to offer comfort on cold nights, to remind each other that even in old age, love is not only possible, but deeply beautiful.